Democrats made gains across the board in last night's election, both nationally and here in Pennsylvania, winning races for state Supreme Court and for judgeships and county level offices across the Commonwealth. Fox 43's James Corrigan here now to break down why it happened and a look ahead to what it means for the future.
Well, Evan, last night could be best described as a rout for Democrats in key races, both here in Pennsylvania and across the country. The statewide judicial races, including Supreme Court retention, all went their way, along with races from county executive, district attorney, sheriff, and lower court judges. We asked the political analyst and Democratic lawmakers today why they felt the night went how it did, along with the question of what it could mean for next year's midterms.
We thought it would be a good night for Democrats. It turned out to be a great night for Democrats across Pennsylvania.
Franklin and Marshall pollster Burwood Yost says the results from election night displayed a consistent trend across the country of dissatisfaction among voters with the direction of the Trump administration, including the current government shutdown.
Clearly, at this point, there's some concerns about what's happening in Washington, I think, and the policies that have been implemented. And so the real test will be whether we see any changes in those policies that might affect the results of the midterm.
I think this was a complete rejection of the chaos of the Trump administration.
Pennsylvania Democratic Party Chair Eugene DePasquale says any concerns over the enthusiasm of Democrats coming into the election were quickly quelled by the results.
What had worried me going into this was, would our base be dispirited? Would they show up? And I think there's a lot of Democrats that have some wind in their sails and say, oh, I'm not alone in this. It's not just me who's frustrated.
The Democratic wins were across the board in Pennsylvania, winning a judicial seat in Dauphin County for the first time since 1991 and in Cumberland County for the first time since at least World War II, and carried the Supreme Court retention election with more than 60% of the vote. Pennsylvania Republican Party Chair Greg Rothman remained steadfast in a statement, saying, quote, "Yesterday's election results were certainly not what we wanted, but if the choice is to fight or run, we will always choose to stand and fight. Today is the first day of the 2026 election, and we have work to do." DePasquale acknowledged the same, saying that winning in 2025 does not necessarily mean winning in 2026.
But we still have a lot of work ahead of us. We're going to have a tough re-election for the governor and lieutenant governor. We know it's very popular, but we've got to make sure we're running on Pennsylvania solutions to Pennsylvania problems.
Now, when it comes to 2026, Burwood Yost says a lot will depend on what is happening in Washington and if that dissatisfaction continues for whether we could see a repeat of this year. Of course, Governor Josh Shapiro will be up for re-election along with 4 Republican incumbents in Congress who are set to face competitive races. As for this year, Democrats will take their wins following their defeat back in 2024 as they look to keep momentum going into next year. And we, of course, have an extensive list of all the election results from last night right now on fox43.com. Evan.
We do indeed. Fox 43's James Corrigan. James, thank you.